Hey friends. I had an interesting experience. This was a few days ago, but it kind of has registered more and more deeply as I've kind of reflected on it. And I was watching a video by Joe Dispenza in which he was talking about his concept of the quantum field and what he calls manifesting from the quantum field. And to very overly simplify and kind of summarize what he says about the nature of reality, he basically says, we live in a three dimensions plus time, four-dimensional universe that is an illusion. And when we want to get something in our 3-4-dimensional universe, we have been conditioned to believe that we need to travel through space and or time to get it. And actually, that's not true. We can inhabit other dimensions that, in a sense, subsume and encompass these 4 subsidiary dimensions. And if we are genuinely rooted in a place like that, what we desire, the thing we desire, and our attainment of it is instantaneous. There's no need to travel through space and time to acquire something that we might want or need. And I mean, he's done work with thousands and thousands of people, and this is something that you make that kind of claim, and it sounds like, okay, like some kind of new age spiritual, mumbo jumbo. But the level of research and the level of detail and kind of real rigor that somebody like Joe Dispenza brings to the process, and brings to not just the claims he's making, but to really then investigating the mechanics, how this really works, is pretty staggering. And so it's a kind of thing where when I hear him speak about it, I was really compelled, and I was really inspired. And then I had a really interesting experience. I had the experience of momentarily assuming that position of like, okay, I can, what the instruction is, resonate with the emotion, with the felt sense that attaining your goal or attaining your desire has for you. So in other words, live and feel as though you have already attained what you desire. And as I started to do that, I noticed resistance. And I was like, that's really interesting. Why on earth would a human being have resistance to manifesting what they desire effortlessly? Why would we have resistance to the idea that we can have, or not so much the idea, but the process of resonating with what we can all, with what we most deeply desire to obtain? And because on one level, you'd think that that's insane, right? If you told someone, hey, you can have whatever you want, all you got to do is resonate with that frequency, bring yourself to that frequency, that emotion, you'd think, that sounds great, let's do it, right? Dive in, seems like there's no downside. Is there a catch, right? So then I was like, well, that's interesting. Where's my resistance coming from? And I started to kind of look at this, and I realized what that mechanism and what that kind of level of realization involves and implies is that we have real clarity about what we want to manifest. And if there's any hesitation about that, if there's, for example, kind of conflicting thoughts, fantasies, conflicting visions of what we might want to manifest for ourselves, then the process of instantaneous creation is gonna, of course, have resistance to it, because as soon as we try to go there, we're gonna be bumping up against our own sense of, well, okay, I can have anything I want, but what is it that I'm actually trying to manifest here? And if we're not clear about that, or if that involves a choice, where it might mean really committing to one thing and letting a bunch of other things go, in a way that when we're not really serious about creating them, we can sort of hold these mutually exclusive fantasies on some level intellectually, or maybe knowing that we're never going to attain them all because there's no way, but sort of like letting ourselves live these multiple fantasies without ever saying, this is the one I really care about, this is what genuinely matters to me, and that's where I'm going to put my time and energy towards. If we haven't made that decision, or if we're not willing to make that decision, if we're not willing to be decisive and definitive that way, then the power to instantaneously manifest what we desire is gonna have some barriers. We're gonna hit resistance. We're gonna be bumping into a barrier, because our mind is gonna say, whoa, whoa, whoa. Manifesting this means actually letting go of all the other bullshit, and I'm kind of still attached to my bullshit. Right? I'm not so sure I want to let go of my bullshit yet. Don't take away my bullshit. Right? It's the kind of contractive ego in its fear, the kind of grip of fear. And this is something that the book 4,000 Weeks that I just finished a couple weeks ago was so great at kind of articulating and elucidating this notion that we have become conditioned to live our lives in a state of not literally assuming we're going to live forever, but subconsciously and implicitly assuming we're going to live forever. Because we entertain notions of what we're going to do with our time that never come to pass, and that if we really got serious about looking at them, we would realize they're mutually exclusive, and we have to make a choice. We have to choose what really matters and let the other stuff go. And so this was this Joe Dispenza exercise, and the kind of power of it was a real pressure cooker that I felt my own system it went into a reckoning. I was like, oh, okay. So I can manifest whatever I want, but I have to want. I have to know what I want. I can't just, manifest what. It's not like you don't just get to manifest the continuation of holding a bunch of mutually exclusive options. That's not what the universe knows better than that. So anyway, this kind of it nudged me into a particular kind of perspective, and I found it really helpful. I found it really, really inspiring and kind of clarifying. It's forcing me into clarity in a really nice way around some areas of my life where, I am looking for some definition. I am looking for some definitive choices and some commitment to certain kinds of movement, and a letting go of a lot of other stuff. So I thought I'd share that because it was a really powerful insight that it's like being handed, you know, the golden goose, or the kind of like, here, you have the power to have whatever you want. And then feeling resistance to that was like, whoa, something's up. Let's see if we can get to the bottom of this, you know. That's what I got today, people. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you tomorrow.